Hello everybody, this is Mr. Aguirre, if you haven't figured it out already. I'm recording this little video to help you guys out with this week's assignment. Before that though, I hope everybody's okay. Please do not go outside. Try to stay inside as much as possible. This thing took everybody by surprise, so please don't take it lightly. It is more serious than any of us even know right now. Now, to get on to the assignment. So first things first, this was supposed to be a lab that we were going to do at school to study how the temperature decreases over time on a dead body. Okay, so first things first, this is the wrong slide. Number one. Now, I have the correct slide over here on the right side of the screen. Don't worry about like taking a picture of it or anything. I'm going to post a picture of it on Teams after I post this video. Okay, the next thing is right here. So during this lab, obviously we're not doing the lab because we're not at school, haha. We're studying how the body loses temperature over time. Okay, so when we read these instructions, everything that's highlighted has already been done for you, including the graph being filled out like this. Okay, so that filled out graph is this one right here. So we already have all of our data that we need. All I did was copy and paste it into a blank Word document so that it was a little bit easier to see, because I didn't want to scroll up and down a bunch of times. So this is the main, I guess, area where you can really start to get confused. So it says right here, prepare a best fit graph of Tommy's and Tammy and the real human corpse's heat loss over a 24-hour period. So we're dealing with two things right here. We're dealing with heat loss and we're dealing with time. So those two things, I'm going to write them down. Time and temperature. I'm just going to leave it as temp, okay? Other thing super important to know is that the human body has a temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. All of the temperatures are in Celsius, so we're going to refer to this normal body temperature as Celsius, okay? So first thing, A. Title the graph. So we're talking about how the body loses temperature over time, and that is called algor mortis. So we're going to title this algor mortis. You can title it body heat body heat lab, or body heat graph. Either one of these will work just fine. Okay, so the next thing that might get you a little stuck here, we just completed step number one. B, label X and Y axes. Okay, so we need to put time and temperature in our axis. So time is going to go down here, time, and then temperature, if I can write my E sideways, which apparently is impossible, we'll go over here. Okay, and the reason time goes down here is because temperature does not affect time. So if it's 100 degrees outside or if it's 70 degrees outside, that doesn't change the fact that it's still 7 o'clock, right? So it can be 7 o'clock one day and it'll be 100 degrees, 7 o'clock another day and it'll be 70 degrees. The temperature is not going to change the time, right? But the time is going to affect the temperature. So if it's 7 o'clock and it's 70 degrees outside, it's not going to be 70 degrees when it's 8 o'clock. Maybe it's 75 degrees, or maybe it's colder, maybe it's 65 degrees. We don't know, right? But the temperature is not always going to stay the same when time changes. So when time changes, temperature changes, and that's why temperature is up here, okay? So next we need to put some numbers on both of our axes. So time, what is the time that we're calculating? Well, it says up here, 24-hour period. So we're going to put 24 hours, okay? Erase that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and finally 24. So we have all 24 of our hours here at the bottom. Okay, and then obviously our temperature, well, we know that the human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we know that our very tippy top of our graph needs to end somewhere around 37, unless somebody has a fever, but we're really not going to worry about that right now. Okay, but we know we only have 25 squares here because we were only able to fit 24. So we're going to put each temperature by 2. So they're going to increase in increments of 2. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's a 12, okay. 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, and then finally 40, right? So obviously it's not 37. It's not exactly 37, but it'll work. So now, boom, labeled X and Y axes. That is complete. Next thing we need to do, draw the best fit line. The line is approximated. It will be a straight line that will pass through some of the points, but not necessarily all of them. There will be some points on either side of the line and some that are not on the line. Okay, so this is worded a little bit confusing just because if you don't know what a best fit line is, then you're already not going to know what to do. So all we're going to do is we're going to go to draw here. So if you don't have draw, you can just insert circles. So you just go to insert and then you go to shapes and you make a little circle and then you just move that circle onto your graph and then you just do that. Okay, but I'm going to use draw because it's a little bit easier. That way I can just click on where I need all of my circles to be. We're going to plot all of this data, which is really only Tammy and Tommy's, onto the graph. So you click on draw, you click on this little pen here, and then we're just going to use red for Tammy. So I'm going to click on red, and then I'm going to look at the time, which is 0, which means it's this one right here, and then Tammy's temperature, which is 37.4. So when I look over here at Tammy, 37.4, maybe it's around right here. So I'm just going to leave it there. In fact, I'm going to make this just a little bit thicker. Maybe this is better. Yes, okay. So 37.4, right? And then I'm going to move on to 1, which is 31.7. So 31.7 is right here. And then the next one is 32. And then we move over to 26.4. And then 28.2, 28.2, 28.2, 22.8, excuse me. And then 20.4. So I'm going to put that right here. So here are the first 5 hours. Okay, and I just got them all from right here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to do that for the rest of the temperature. So I'm just going to go and do that real quick. And then I'll show you guys how to make that line. Okay, so we are on hour number 4 right here. So 20.4 is the next one. Oh, wait. Yeah. On 5, yeah, 20.4 is the next one. And then you have 17.9, which is right here. 16.1, which is right there. 15.1, which is around halfway. 14. Oops, messed that one up. 14. 12.6. 11.3. I'm going to put that right there. 10.8. 10.1, 9.4, 8.9, 8.7, 8.2, 7.8, 7.4, 7.2, 7.2, and then 6.8, right? Well, I probably missed a couple of them, but don't worry too much about that. Okay, so here's our points. Now we need to draw that line, right? And obviously, you're not just going to draw like a huge line like that. Don't do that. That's harder than it seems. Okay, all you need to do is go to Insert, and then you go to Shapes. Oh, not Online Shapes. Ugh. You go to Shapes, and then you just click on the line. So you're going to click on the line. You start here, and then you're just going to draw a line that goes through the most amount of lines as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and move this one down just a little bit, and that's probably the best. This one is probably the best one. That goes through, actually it might be this. Goes through the most points possible. Okay? Let me see. No. Yeah. So this is probably this is the best fit line right here, because it goes through the most points possible. Okay, so I know it doesn't look like a best fit line because it's missing the points, but don't worry too much about that. You'll be okay. And all we're going to do is we're going to change the color to red. So it's right there. There's the color. And then we're going to make it just a little bit thicker. So you click on this, you right click on it, and then you can change the weight. So that's a little bit easier to see. We're going to make this one 1.5. Okay. So that's how you make a best fit line. So this was Tammy. So we're going to go back to draw and we're going to put Tammy right here just to make sure that it's red. Come on, man. Come on, man. Not like this. There we go. So now you need to do the same thing for Tommy, and you need to do the same thing for real human. Now, I'm going to explain how to do the real human one, and you're going to be using this slide to do the real human one. Okay, so there's two really important things on this slide. For the first 12 hours after death, the body cools at a rate of 0.78 degrees Celsius per hour. So let's make this one blue, like so. And I know that the normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, so I'm going to start at 37. And for the first 12 of these lines, I'm going to subtract 0.78. So 37 minus 0.78, that's somewhere around here, and then here, and here, and here, here, and here, and here, and here, and here, 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 and then here. And that's the first 12. And then it says after the first 12 hours, the body cools at 0.39 degrees Celsius, which is less than what we were working with before. Before we were working with 0.78, now we're working with 0.39. So for each of these, I subtracted 0.78. But now I'm going to subtract 0.39 for the rest of these. Okay, and then I'm just going to draw that same line that I drew here. So this is how you do your best fit graph. All right, if you guys have any other questions on how to do these, or how to draw the lines, how to do the dots, again, if you're having trouble on drawing things, or you don't have the draw tab, you can always just go to insert and then shapes, and then just click on the circle, and then you can just put your circle wherever it needs to be, and then you just copy and paste that, and then that way you have another circle that you can put somewhere else. So that's a different way of doing the same thing, right? Just don't forget to put your line. That's the most important part. Okay, you guys should be able to answer these questions. Just use this slide and this information, and the chart that you make should help you out too. So I hope you guys stay safe. Please be careful. Like I said, this virus is way more serious than any of us could have ever imagined. You guys have any other questions, send me a message on Teams, send me an email, and just remember, you're all free now. Take it easy.